I'm Will Carr, and I'm here to fire you up. Welcome, everyone, to the Will Carr Speaks podcast. I've got another great episode for you guys here today. I sit down with my great friend, Zarya Robinson, who is an NBA dancer for the Chicago Bulls, the one and only Chicago Bulls, I would say. And their dance team was called the Luvabulls. And so she is just finishing up her 4-year career. And we sit down and just reminisce on times as an NBA dancer with the Luvabulls and just kind of talk about her journey in life, getting to the point where she was a professional dancer in the NBA. And just such a lovely conversation that I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy to listen to. You know, we dive into certain stories and even get into some high school drama. So if you enjoy like those Netflix series, I think they're called like Cheer or something, where the girls, you know, have their moments of drama. This is definitely going to be an episode you enjoy watching too. So with that said, sit back, grab a tea or whatever beverage of your choice, or whether you're driving down the road, enjoy yourself, listen in, and thanks for being here. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Will Carr Speaks podcast. I am excited to sit down with my friend, Zarya Robinson, and just dive into life and some, fun things about life. So how are you doing today? What's up?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a blast. Today's been awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. How was your travel getting to Colorado?
Interesting to say the least. Flight got delayed because the weather between here and Illinois just has not been great recently. So flight got delayed, and then while I was in the air, we just started circling for a few hours. So That was great. That was fun. We love turbulence.
Yeah.
But I'm just really thankful and blessed that I made it safe. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, you mind sharing why you're here? So you need to move the mic in front of you. Let's get that going. We can dive into some other things. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, with that in mind,
yes.
Tell me what it's like being. Let's just get right to it. Tell me what it's like being a professional dancer in the NBA.
So, I just finished my 4th year in the NBA, and it was the experience of a lifetime. And I'm so thankful for it. It was so incredible. I have nothing but absolutely amazing things to say. And I think my journey getting into the NBA was very interesting because I did it on a whim. I didn't grow up wanting to be a part of the NBA. I didn't even necessarily grow up wanting to be a professional dancer. I started dance at about 3 or 4 years old. And it was actually, I was in college, and a girl that I grew up dancing with was on the team. And she had posted something on Instagram. The team that I was on, they host clinics before audition. So essentially a dance class before the actual audition. You can go see if you enjoy the people, enjoy the organization, get a feel of what the environment is like. Uh-huh. And while I was at clinics, I really enjoyed it. And I said, oh, this could be fun. And I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
And they give out passes to training camp.
Okay.
And I didn't get one. And I said, it's on.
Lit a fire under you, huh?
Yes, it really lit a fire under me. And so I actually didn't tell anyone that I was trying out, which I think makes it that much cooler. My mom didn't know. No one knew. And so once I made the team, I actually joined my last year of college. And so I called my mom. I said, Mom, guess what? I'm going to dance in the NBA. You get to come to the games. She said, you still have school and you're the president of an organization and you have 4 other jobs. How are we going to make this work? I said, I don't know, but let's make it happen.
We'll figure it out.
Yes, we'll figure it out. And so I did. And here we are 4 years later. And I just finished, at the time we're recording this, I just finished a week ago. So there's still a lot of sentiment there because
Yeah.
I'm going to miss performing on that court. I'm
Yeah.
really going to miss performing on that court.
Because all 4 years would have been at the United Center with the Chicago Bulls, the Luvabulls, which I still think has to be the best name and all, like, just because of the Bulls. I mean, and I grew up in Illinois, so you know, I got a little special place in my heart for the Bulls. I wish they were as good as they used to be.
You know, I can't speak on that too much. There's
nothing you can do about that anyway.
But I will say I thoroughly enjoyed my time dancing in the NBA, and I am going to miss performing on that court more than anything.
Yeah. What's the team atmosphere like, you know, like, and, you know, maybe generally speaking, but also maybe specifically, you know, with the Luvabulls, like, what's the team atmosphere like?
So the team atmosphere is surrounded in sisterhood. That is really what it is trying to be conveyed 24/7. And I am very blessed and thankful to be able to say that I met girls along this journey that are going to be lifelong friends. And I'm hopefully going to get to go to their weddings. They're going to be a part of my life for the rest of my life and be the aunts to my children. And I can't be more thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, I think community, I mean, you know, I remember, you know, from playing on sports teams, you know, my own, it's really the camaraderie of just having your teammates. Like, they really become your family. And, you know, they're with you everywhere you go. And I think, you know, we travel a lot, obviously, but you guys don't travel with the team. It's just home games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, there's so many games. I mean, you perform at every home game, and there's 60 some. I mean, how many home games are there in it?
So there are about 42 home games, and thankfully, I was on a team where we weren't required to be on every single game. We would rotate, try to give people nights off, because that's a lot to ask of anyone. 42 is a lot, because we all also have jobs outside of it.
Yeah.
So asking your other job to take all of that time off may be a little difficult depending on what you do for work.
Yeah.
But I think that being able to have that rotation just also helps you mentally. 42 can be a lot. You get to a point in the season, it's a little mentally tasking.
Yeah.
Because you get to certain weeks where you have 4 games in a row, and that can be a lot for anybody. So it's really nice that you get breaks. I would say everyone's on majority. And then, of course, if you have things that come up, you're able to take time off.
Yeah.
You're able to do what you need to do. They are flexible, thankfully. So knowing that you are with people that understand that you do have a life outside and you do have other things that sometimes you want to attend to is really nice to be supported in that way.
Yeah. I mean, you grew up in the Chicago area.
I did. I grew up in the suburbs of Illinois, and that in and of itself, I think, really prepared me. So my journey, even with dance, and my journey getting into where I am today, I think I'm very thankful for, but it hasn't necessarily been the easiest road. So yeah, but I'm thankful for everything because it made me into the woman that I am, and I'm proud of that.
What were some of the biggest struggles in getting there that you would be comfortable sharing?
So I grew up in a very predominantly white suburb, and with that being one of the only is tasking. One thing that stands out before even high school, but even growing up at the dance studio I went to, I was, again, just one of, there weren't a ton of us. I wore my hair curly one summer because it was summer. Like, let the hair be curly. I'm going swimming all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so I had it in one big just poof ball on top of my head. And my dance teacher made a comment of, what does your hair look like in pigtails? I would just love to see it in pigtails. And I was like, oh. And the girls took it seriously and they found it funny. So then they came over and then took my hair out and then took their fingers and like ripped through my hair to put it into pigtails. And something about curly hair, you need a comb, you need something, because that can actually really damage your hair, just taking your fingers, especially when it's in its natural state, and just like tearing through it, not taking into consideration my curls, the health of my hair, if it's wet or if it's dry. So that was kind of humiliating in that moment, because I was just being seen as an object and not a human. So that was something that was really hard. And then getting into high school, I could write a story on high school alone, a book. That's what I mean. I could write a book on high school alone, but there were a lot of challenges in high school because I decided to quit competitive dance and just do high school dance, which in Illinois is technically the requirement, with the powers that be. You can't compete at the same time in a studio at the same time as high school. It's just not allowed, because a little bit of unfair advantage, right? I don't know. But with that, I made varsity as a freshman with one other girl. And so as I got older, people my age were starting to join the team more. And I experienced not only an extreme amount of racism, but also a decent amount of just, I hate to say it, but I can't help but believe just jealousy. And a big example of that is, I'll do two that come to mind. One is, we're in high school, right? And so songs are being played before we go out to dance. So as we're getting ready, we're supposed to be having fun, right? Yeah. Just throw on the tunes. Anyone wants to throw on tunes, kind of hype each other up, just have a grand old time. Yeah. And with that,
get the jams going.
Right. Just get the jams going, get the vibes. And so as that was happening, it was a decent amount of rap, which I don't have an issue with. I don't have an issue with you playing rap music. I enjoy rap music. But there are certain words being said in songs that I really don't think anyone should use, let alone people that aren't of the same skin color as me. And they would like scream it at the top of their lungs. Yeah. Just like scream it. And so it got to a point as I got older where I just really wasn't comfortable with it anymore. And I said something. I said, guys, I'm really not comfortable with this. Like, can you just not, like, when it gets to this certain word, just skip it. Every other part of the song, go ahead. But if you could just skip that, like that would really mean a lot to me. And to have the response be, well, we're not using the hard R, so it doesn't matter. Why are you upset? Okay.
Do you feel like it was directed? Like, do you feel like, and they were, in that situation, they were directing things at you, or do you think they were just more so trying to have fun with the song and not necessarily being cognizant of the way it might make you feel?
It's one thing when someone doesn't say anything, but after I have now explained to you, hey, I'm not okay with this. This isn't cool to me. With me being the only black one on the team, can you please refrain from saying it? At that point, I'm sorry, there is no excuse. Yeah. Like you can have fun outside of here. That's fine. But in my presence, I don't think that's too much to ask for you to not say that.
Would you say your high school experience was, I mean, is that how you would characterize the overwhelming majority of your high school experience, or would you say those were more like isolated incidences?
That's not even the tipping point. Like, to be completely honest,
Yeah.
I had a girl accuse my mom of bribery because
For you to be on the team, you mean? Or like
for
bribery for
me,
what?
so our first competition my senior year, there's this account, this Twitter account that goes around tweeting about all of the routines in the state of Illinois.
Mm.
And so after each dance, the team sits around and waits for the tweet to hear about, okay, what did they think?
Mm.
We hold them in a very high regard.
Yeah.
So after our dance, we received the tweet and it says something along the lines of, an amazing soloist is only one part of that phenomenal. Can I say my high school in here? I don't think
Sure.
I should.
Yeah. You can if you want. Yeah.
Naperville Central, like, high school dance team, right? And then 3 more sentences about the team as a whole. Let me make this very clear. I was not the only one with a solo. Okay, I was not the only one with a solo. But everyone assumed it was about me.
Mm.
So I am sitting, just like trying to get myself together, and people are snickering about it. And so I am trying not to cry because instead of having praise from my teammates, I'm getting spit on essentially.
Yeah.
And my coaches are sitting there. We're all in the same room together. We are literally in a high school classroom.
Yeah.
So it's not as though we are that far away from each other. And so my coaches are saying, isn't it so great to receive recognition? And I said, not when your teammates are behind you, like insulting you.
Mm.
And so I went to the bathroom to like gather myself.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm in there are 2 girls in there. I didn't know they were in there. They didn't know I was in there. And so one of the girls goes, do you think the account paid Zarya's mom? No. Sorry. Do you think Zarya's mom paid that account to tweet about Zaria? And so I just stayed quiet at that moment, right? I'm baffled.
You're just a fly on the wall.
I'm just a fly on the wall. So the other teammate goes, say that again. So now I'm really tuned in. And I said, oh, let me see if I actually heard this right. And she repeats the exact same thing. Do you think Zarya's mom paid that account to tweet about Zaria? I have put up with a lot.
Yeah.
One thing I will never put up with is anyone talking about my mother specifically. Like, really, family in general. I'm very protective over family.
Yeah.
But especially my mom, like that, no one goes there. Don't at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so I said, what did you just say? And you could hear a pin.
Oh, yeah.
Drop.
They probably turned into ghosts.
And I storm back into that room. I look at my coaches and I go, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And so they ripped me out into the hallway and they're like, what's going on? And I said, this is what just happened. And I heard it twice. So no, I'm not making this up. No, this wasn't something great. Like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I've done this for 3 years. This is my last year. This is the first competition of my senior year. I'm done. And I literally fell on the floor and cried my eyes out because the summer, was it that summer going into my senior year or the summer before that? We were at dance camp for high school. Like, everyone goes to the same camp, and we sat down as a team because there were a lot of issues happening. And my coach asked everyone, how do we resolve this? What would make this better? And I had to sit there and listen to the team say that they didn't want me there.
So did you continue at that point, or were you actually done?
So I continued because I was blessed enough to be the captain. So I'm someone, once I commit to something, I'm going to see it through. And also, like, this is not my team, but this is my team.
Yeah. Well, it's your school's team. It's where you go to school.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I had so much pride in my school and why I was doing this. Just because someone else makes a horrible statement doesn't mean that I have to stop doing what I love.
Mm.
So that was, my mom and grandpa were already involved in like talking to the school because of other things that were already happening within that environment. So to hear that was, so I continued on, but like when you start off in that way, it's not going to end great.
Yeah.
So those are just a few examples of just not having great experiences on dance teams. And it's not to say that every single individual is a bad person. Absolutely not. There were just bad apples that sadly made the experience less than ideal for me. And I just hope that they've learned from it.
Yeah. Well, I think high school girls in general probably have a tendency to be a bit catty.
Yes.
I don't know. I was never a high school girl, so.
The amount of unnecessary drama that occurred was just stupid. It was, there was a Sweet 16.
This was your Sweet 16?
Not mine. Not mine. Not mine.
Sweet 16 you attended.
A Sweet 16 that I attended. When I tell you, high school movies are made from nights like this.
Yeah.
There was a whole guest list. The birthday girl received a Maserati.
Oh, wow.
And was not happy.
She wasn't happy with her Maserati? Oh, man.
So
that's yeah.
So a lot of things occurred that night. And the next day were team photos. And I had let everyone know, let's go have fun at this party. But be ready for team photos. Like, this is our senior year. Let's have fun, right?
Yeah.
Or junior year? I don't know. But let's go have fun. Let's just go have a great time.
Yeah.
And people were not well the next day. And so as others...
a little bit of partying had gone on?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, God. That night in and of itself, I had my mom pick me up from another girl's house. I ended up driving that girl's car to her house. And
the Maserati?
No.
Oh,
absolutely
man.
not.
Dang
No,
it.
birthday girl. I just really hope she had a good time. There was a lot happening. I just really hope that she had a good time, but
you didn't get a Maserati for your 16th birthday?
No. Absolutely not. So, but when I got in the car, it was later than my mom had anticipated. So she was like, "What's going on?" I got in the car and the look on my face, she was like, "Got it."
No.
Got it. And so the next day, we're at team photos. People are asking about the party and girls are talking about what's going on and what they did or did not partake in. So then it was my co-captain and I at the end of the photo shoot. And with that, it ended up being a case of my coaches coming up to me and asking if everything the girls were saying was true. So that put me in a bit of a predicament. Yeah.
You either got to lie to your coaches or rat out your team.
And what I'm going to stand here and say, no, everything they said isn't true.
Yeah.
So I just simply said yes. And I said nothing more beyond that. But this was at the time of Finstas. So people were posting things that they should not be posting.
Yeah.
Photos of them in their own vomit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, who would take a picture of that? That's gross. Maybe if you're that drunk that you're just not really thinking clearly at all.
So those were the type of things being posted,
Yeah.
and so someone else. To this day, I don't know who it was. Someone else turned in a lot of those photos,
Yeah.
and I got accused of ratting the girls out.
Mm.
And so that is going to stir up a lot of drama because no one knows who turned in those photos, but people ended up finding out that my coaches asked me that question and that
Yeah.
I simply said yes. So then I was accused of being a narc, and it's like, well, how was any of this my fault?
Yeah.
I answered a question. Like you were the ones that talked about it, but okay.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit then, because would you say, yeah, two questions. Would you say that because of some of these like negative experiences you had in high school and stuff, because obviously you were a very good like competitive dancer your whole life.
Mhm.
So like when at the beginning of the podcast you said you never had any ambition or desire to be, a professional dancer for the NBA or anything like that. Would you say that was because of these experiences, or like why?
No.
Because
So-
personally speaking, like where from someone who's been very competitive at various things, I have a tendency to think, I'm going to try to do it at the highest level possible.
Mhm.
So I'm just curious if those negative experiences caused you to not think that way initially.
Honestly, no, it wasn't that. It was a sense of it just wasn't a huge desire for me. I loved performing, and that to this day is the reason why I continue to dance is I just love performing.
Yeah.
I believe that it is the ability that God gave me, and
Mhm.
I'm very blessed that I found my passion
Mhm.
at 3 years old.
Yeah.
Not everyone is that lucky, so it just wasn't something that I saw for myself. And I ended up not dancing in college because I went to a very small school where there wasn't even a dance team, there was a cheer dance team. So it was combined, and it just wasn't the environment that I wanted to be in. So I wouldn't say that it was those negative experiences, but I was also raised in the sense of school comes first.
Yeah.
So at some point, um, all of this has to end, and so it just wasn't something that I saw for myself, and I would like to think maybe it did, but it just wasn't something that I saw for myself. It wasn't a desire that I had, but um, it just wasn't a real desire. But I think I was also very much raised in the sense of like, let's have a career, let's do not the traditional things, but there are things outside of dance that you are very good at. So, and I think everyone in my family has always known that dance will and was going to be a part of my life somehow. Whether it be I taught dance or created some type of company surrounding dance in some type of way, but we knew that dance was going to follow me, but we just didn't know in what aspect.
Yeah.
And so for me to take the route that I did was just a huge surprise to everyone. But I've been blessed my whole life. And so I can't thank anyone but my family for their support. And then just God for giving me this ability and to be so supported in the decisions that I've made regarding dance.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love the God, faith, and family thread. That's something we could dive into deeper, I'm sure. I want to just share some great because we talked about some like negative story, and maybe I don't want to say negative, but just like some hard stories.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me some of the like great times that you had, whether and maybe
Okay,
specific to the NBA dancing, specific to the Luvabulls.
So one in general that I just love talking about is I got on stage with Flo Rida right after I graduated from
awesome.
high school. He came to my town and performed at Rib Fest when we still had it. And they were picking people from the audience, and my little 5'2" self just tried jumping in the air, being like, me. And thankfully, someone tall was next to me. It was like trying to point down. So eventually they saw me. So I got up on that stage had the time of my life, ended up
Yeah.
landing in the middle splits at the end.
Oh, nice.
Florida was like, what's happening? Because he didn't know anything that was happening because he was like out in the crowd. So he was very just taken aback.
Yeah. Were you, I just got to ask, were you wearing apple bottom jeans and boots with the fur?
I was not. I was not.
With the fur?
I sadly was not. It was a little too hot to be doing all that. But it ended up creating a great friendship.
Yeah.
So now occasionally I get to say hi, and he has a phenomenal manager. And they're great people.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I was very honored to get to perform at both D Rose games. Those are experiences I will take with me for the rest of my life, to be able to see an entire city come together for one individual that is hometown hero.
Yeah.
The crowd, I can't even begin to explain how excited they were, how loud they were. It was kind of interesting to see kind of how quiet the games were those nights.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd was like quiet during the game, but then during the aspects when we were honoring him, insane.
Yeah.
Everyone was going crazy. Of course, sold out both nights, and so those were amazing experiences, because how many times does someone get to not only perform but get to attend a jersey retirement ceremony? So I was very honored to get to be a part of both of those games, because not everyone was. And then I loved this game. We honored the women of hip hop, because I believe it was the 50th anniversary. And so we did an entire halftime surrounding women of hip hop. So we had people that were casted as Salt and Peppa, TLC, Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott. I believe that's everyone. I was very, very, very lucky to be cast as Peppa.
Cool.
And so we got to do a whole photo shoot, and we got to just put on this amazing production, getting to celebrate these incredible women who have paved the way, especially in terms of hip hop. And I that was one of the biggest honors of my life, especially to be someone that my mom listened to growing up. That was also really cool for her to have like that transformation, because we had wigs and everything. The styling of everyone was so on point. It was incredible. That was also an amazing game. My last game meant a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was a really amazing game, just to feel appreciated and to go out one last time. That was a really amazing moment.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing some of these stories. You know, Zaria, you're a wonderful person with a beautiful soul.
Thanks.
And I wish we had more time to sit and record, but I'm sure we'll have lots of conversations off camera.
100%.
But this was thanks for coming on the show and sharing some of this stuff. And congratulations on an awesome career. 4 years as a NBA dancer for the Chicago Bulls. Like, how awesome. There's not a basketball team in the entire NBA that has more culture and history than Chicago, and playing in the United Center. So, there might be a few teams that want to say they can compete with that, but I don't think so. So, what an honor. And I'm sure that was just such an awesome period of your life.
100%.
And, thanks for sharing these stories with me. And look forward to the conversations ahead. So
100%. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I'm Will Carr, and I'm here to fire you up.